Not a bad day for a horse race. There are 15 of them. Live look, Parks Casino and Racing in Bensalem, Pennsylvania on this sun-splashed final Saturday of summer. It's the perfect setting for the biggest day of the season. Energetic crowd on hand. They're here for the party, here to see some of the very best in the sport. Enter Baeza, third place finisher in the Kentucky Derby, third in the Belmont Stakes, but this time he's the favorite, the Grade 1 Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. But first, Good Cheer steps into the spotlight. Kentucky Oaks winner, what'll she do in today's Grade 1 $1 million Cotillion Stakes? We'll find out soon enough. The rundown. Gallant Bob is next. Fast sprinters post time in about 13 minutes. Then first of two Grade 1 $1 million events. Top class fillies in the Cotillion. Finally, the main event, 45th running of the Pennsylvania Derby. Just outside the paddock alongside Dick Jerardi, I'm Laffit Pincay. Already a terrific day of thoroughbred racing here at Parks, Dick, and so much to look forward to.
Laffit, we started a little after 11 a.m. By the time we're done, we're talking an 8-hour extravaganza here at Parks today. And it's all framed around these final 2.5 hours with us, where you will see the last two Grade 1 races of the year for straight 3-year-olds.
Included the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Take a look at the field. 3-year-olds, just like in the Triple Crown, 10 strong. Mile and an eighth the distance. Number 3, Magnitude, fast, colt, likes to control right from the start. Horses 6 through 10, goal-oriented. Second choice, 5-2. In from California for two-time Triple Crown winning trainer Bob Baffert. Number 8, Baeza, the favorite, also in from the West. Spent a lot of time chasing Superstar Sovereignty this year. Dick, there is Baeza, who arrived last Saturday, finishing second to Sovereignty in the Jim Dandy.
So Sovereignty is in the Godolphin Blue on the outside, right? Your Derby and Belmont Stakes winner. And Baeza has given him maybe the hardest race he's had all year. I mean, he ran terrific to beat him only a length. He's getting better and better with each race.
He's trying to become the 7th California Invader to win the Pennsylvania Derby since 2012. Dick, and same can be said for goal-oriented.
Yeah, speaking of California Invaders who win this race, Bob Baffert 4 times since 2014. Laffit, goal-oriented, another shot from Mr. Baffert, the man with the white hair and the Midas touch.
Goal-oriented with the right people in his corner. It's not just Bob Baffert, also star jockey Rod Ortiz seeking a third win in the Pennsylvania Derby. About 50 minutes prior, the first of our Grade 1 $1 million races, the Cotillion. Take a look at the field. Mile and a 16th is the distance. Loaded addition. Scottish Lassie, 9-5 favorite. Blowout winner of Saratoga's coaching club. American Oaks, Lacara, two-time Grade 1 winner. Number 5, Not Too Late, is out. Number 7, Good Cheer, Kentucky Oaks winner. Runner-up in the Alabama at Saratoga. As we welcome Maggie Wolfendale to the broadcast. Standing by in the paddock, Maggie, Scottish Lassie, trained by Jorge Abreu, who told you a long time ago just how good she might be.
That's right, Laffit. I was standing on the rail with him before the Saratoga meet even started last year, and he pointed to Scottish Lassie saying, Maggie, don't you love my McKenzie filly? She is a queen. And boy, has she proven that she is royalty, giving Jorge his first Grade 1 victory last year in the Frizette, and his second last time out with that romp in the CCA Oaks. And she's looking to give him his third and not only become a queen, but a champion. With a victory today, it would secure 3-year-old filly championship honors to Scottish Lassie. But we will have more on the Jorge Abreu and Scottish Lassie story coming up a little later in the show. Laffit?
Delivering on that high praise from her trainer, Scottish Lassie. Dick, and then you have Good Cheer, the Kentucky Oaks winner, who at one time the far clear and away leader of this 3-year-old filly division.
Yeah, this is Good Cheer taking the lead in the Kentucky Oaks and just dominating. And I think she's going to get a similar trip in this race today, but not obviously a sloppy track. And at that point, Laffit, she was 7 for 7. She's been favored in all 9 starts.
Good Cheer, as you mentioned, perfect in those first 7 starts. What will she do today in the Grade 1 Cotillion? The Kentucky Oaks winner seeking a second Grade 1 victory of her career on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Bensalem. And we're right on top of live racing with the Gallant Bob coming up. All about speed, sprinters, 3/4 of a mile, $400,000 purse. Number 5, Barnes, Just Like Goal Oriented, trained by Bob Baffert. Current favorite at 1-9. Matt Rooney is with us, the president of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, standing by with instructions for the jockeys.
On behalf of the Delta Tau Delta fraternity at Villanova University, gentlemen, riders up!
Clear, concise, effective.
How about those Wildcats out on the main line showing up to give the riders up? Very impressive.
This terrific crowd here at Parks with the Gallant Bob coming up. Looking at Barnes, who is the current odds-on favorite.
Still 1-9.
Still 1-9.
Yep.
As we say hello to Dani Gibson, who is with a Maniac, Pat Maniac Malloy in the winner's circle. Guys.
Hey guys, I am here with Maniac Malloy, and we are in the center of it all. This crowd is pumped. They've been pouring in since the gates opened at 10, filling the grandstand and the ever so popular picnic area. We hear people talking about which horses they like. Cheers as the horses hit the track and they're ready for the biggest race in the country. It is Derby Day. Malloy, you've been involved with all these fans today. How much fun are you having, and what are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to being amongst the people that are the greatest fans in all of sports. That's Philly sports fans, the fans of the Super Bowl champs. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. It's all about the people today, Dani.
Well, we love it. We love the energy. Back to you, Laffit.
I'll have what he's having. It's a band name just waiting to happen. Dani and the Maniac, much more with them throughout the broadcast. Plus, I want to take advantage of this. New users to Bet Parks can now get up to $1,000 back in casino bonuses within their first 24 hours. You're going to use that code Derby, or simply scan the QR code on your screen. And the horse who was on your screen moments ago, Barnes, who is the odds-on favorite for this upcoming Gallant Bob, trained by Bob Baffert. And at one point, he was considered an early favorite for the Kentucky Derby this winter.
He was indeed, Laffit, but then they needed to send him back to sprints.
$3.2 million colt. He's earned about 10% of that. Has some work to do, does Barnes. So who is fastest? The Gallant Bob Stakes is next, as we're just getting started. Great to have you with us on this Pennsylvania Derby Saturday from Parks Casino and Racing in Bensalem. Stellar Saturday in the Commonwealth. Welcome back. Parks Casino and Racing in Bensalem, PA. Gallant Bob on tap. Post parade, let's meet the field. Starting with Retribution and jockey Kendrick Carmouche back at his old stomping grounds.
He won the PTHA President's Cup, the prep for this, back on Smarty Jones Day on August 18th. And any Mount Rushmore of great jockeys to race at Parks includes the great Kendrick Carmouche.
Retribution, followed by Gatekeeper number 2, making his graded stakes debut. I promise he'll enter your screen.
And
there he is.
He comes in from Kentucky. It's his second stakes try, Laffit. He didn't do so well with his first. He's beaten 38 lengths at a Sam Davis.
All right, so we'll get to the remainder of the field, but when trainer Brian Lynch is ready to roll, you go to Brian Lynch, who's live with Maggie.
Yeah, because he's one of my favorite trainers to talk to, as we have the odds board right behind us, Brian, and we were just saying 25-1 on your horse, Donut God, seems pretty high.
Yeah, they're making it a one-horse race, aren't they? I really think he offers some value at 25-1. He'll get some of my money anyway.
I love that. I love the confidence. As you know, last time he was coming off that long layoff, he just seemed maybe a little rusty from that inside post position. Talk about now getting this, that race under his belt and getting back to the races today.
Yeah, I think rusty's a good word for it, Maggie. He sort of broke a little tardy and he sort of got in behind horses but still ran good. And look, he's trained on really well. We've matched him up with some nice older horses he's worked with, and couldn't be happier with his work schedule coming into it. So we've got a good feeling about it.
He looks awesome. Best of luck, and thank you so much for your time as always.
Thanks, Maggie. You look awesome too.
Oh, I love it. That's why he's my favorite, Laffit.
I was wondering. Now it all makes sense. It all comes together. Who's better than Brian Lynch? When he wins, everybody wins. As you look at Donut God, and also later Lynch with Big Truz in the big race As for Donut God, Dick, part of the key for him, like breaking better today than he did in the Jersey Shore in July.
Right, he finished second in the Jersey Shore. If he does break well, there's no question he's going to be a pace factor, and they're going to be going fast. Given how fast this surface is today, Laffit, I think they're going to shade 109, especially if Barnes runs like I expect him to. I think it's going to be in the 108 and change.
A fast track, but it's a fair track. Is there an advantage to front runners, horses that are forwardly placed?
I don't think so. They've been coming from all over the place. They've been coming up the rail. They've been coming out in the outside. But yeah, it is, especially for Parks, over the last several days, the times have been extremely fast.
All right, but all eyes on Barnes, as mentioned.
Yeah,
$3.2 million purchase. There he is for two-time Triple Crown winning trainer Bob Baffert. And this happens all the time, Dick, when horses that look like Kentucky Derby / Triple Crown prospects wind up thriving in other disciplines in racing.
Unquestionably, and at the moment, he has 240,000 out of the 315,000 in the pool. That's why he's won tonight. All the money is coming on Barnes. Look, as you said, 3.2 million. He's been good, but not great so far. But if he runs anything close to his second journalism to San Felipe or to third in the Allen Jerkins, he wins, and it's not going to be close.
To the outside, live look, there is Neo Equos. If it sounds familiar, it should. Ran 13th in the Kentucky Derby. Back sprinting. He's been sprinting since. How much of a threat to Barnes do you think he is today?
I love the outside post at this track, sprinting. It's always been a good, solid deal. Finished third just behind Sovereignty in the Florida Derby. That's actually the last race Sovereignty didn't win, and he wasn't all that far behind him. Yes, as you said, Laffit, he was nowhere in the Derby, but he's been solid sprinting.
Star jockey Gerard Ortiz aboard, 5-time Eclipse Award winner. It's like an MVP for jockeys. To Dani and Maggie, trackside.
That's right, Laffit. And Dani, it feels like they're betting this race like there's only one horse. Now, Barnes, he does come in off of the third place effort in the H. Allen Jerkins, a grade 1. So maybe getting a little class relief here. And 2, Bob Baffert saying it wasn't an ideal trip. He's a horse that needs to be in the clear to do his best running.
Yeah, I mean, he's been galloping strong, training over the track, but don't count out some of the other horses that can maybe come up and get pieces of it. The number 1, Retribution, he had a really bad stumble here in the prep race, but he gets speedy jockey Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
And he was still able to overcome that. Now, that was over a muddy, sealed racetrack. And 2, you know, having a race over the local strip certainly doesn't hurt. You can speak to that being a local yourself.
Yeah, and let's throw in a 99-to-1 shot. Wax box, get the jockey, Dylan Davis. I love this matchup. This horse has a lot of heart. They played with the distances. He really likes sprinting. He is not going to give up, and you'll see him coming late.
All right. Well, Dylan Davis looking to get on the board here, but Barnes, Laffit, he does look a bit more fit than what he did for that H. Allen Jerkins. And boy, the board would say that, well, he's just going to err here.
Strictly the one to beat.
Yeah, the
handicappers having zeroed in here on Barnes as an understatement.
And the plan, Laffit, is if he runs like they expect him to run, think about the Breeders' Cup Sprint or the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So Bob Baffert's thinking beyond this race, but yeah, there you go. Everybody, what, 7 to 1 is the second lowest price.
Second choice. You like anybody else, you are getting your number, you're getting your price. Yeah, the synergy between this race and the Breeders' Cup Sprint, the most prestigious race for sprinters in North America, decides champions, champion sprinter.
Last year's
winner,
Ben Tornado ran a great second in the sprint.
28 to 1 behind Straight No Chaser. 2012, Trinity Bird ran second in this Gallant Bob, came back to win the Breeders' Cup Sprint, 13 to 1 at Santa Anita.
Yeah, so, and I think that's the hope here, especially for Barnes. I don't know that very many of these others would make the trip out to Del Mar, but obviously Barnes is going back to California anyway. And for the people that don't know, and most people do, Barnes is named for Jimmy Barnes, Bob's top assistant, who always travels with the horses, and Jimmy has been here since Tuesday when Barnes came in. And again, he's a horse who's always been heavily hyped, A, because of the price, right? $3.2 million at Saratoga 2 years ago, but he showed great talent early, and then it just fell off the cliff at the Santa Anita Derby.
Odds-on favorite. Filing into the gate, Donut God. Will he break sharp today? Madhouse number 7, anticipated pace setter. Jessica Paquette standing by with the call. The Gallant Bob live from Parks.
Friday surprise is in. And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Gallant Bob, a good start for this field of 10. Neo Equos with some early speed. Madhouse out to join him, and Madhouse comes up to take the lead. Fire Pit the Gray goes with him, and chasing him in between horses. Donut God, he's into fourth. Gateskeeper, Friday Surprise forward lead plays, and it's Retribution followed by Alchemism. Then Waxbox has one beat, and that is the heavy favorite Barnes, who is 10th and last. As they head on with a half mile to go, 21 and 2, and leading the way Madhouse. He's under pressure from Fire Pit as they head towards the far turn. They're kicking clear from the field. On the inside, Madhouse, Fire Pit, and on the outside, beginning to move, Neo Equos, he's into third. The Gateskeeper, he's in between horses. Donut God, he's fifth. Then it's Retribution as they go around the far turn, leading the way. Madhouse and Fire Pit, these two have been in tandem throughout. Barnes is getting in gear from the back, but he has so much work to do. Madhouse, Fire Pit, these two, nothing really separating them. Gateskeeper on the outside, he's making up some ground. Retribution's found his stride. Barnes down the center of the track has so much work to do, and it's Madhouse who has a 16th left. Fire Pit chases gamely on the far outside. Barnes, and it's going to be Madhouse. Madhouse gets the win, an upset in the Gallant Bob Stakes. Final time, 108 and 3.
Fast gelding coming in hot, make it 4 straight. Madhouse in the Gallant Bob, and 3 wins on the afternoon for Paco. Just Paco.
Yeah, Paco's the man. That's 298 on the season for him. Leads the country and wins. And this horse, as you said, came in from Minnesota, Canterbury Downs, where he won 3 in a row by a combined 22 lengths, all wire to wire. I don't know the last time I saw a horse coming from Canterbury to Parks, but they were ready. And Barnes completely missed the start.
What happened?
It's a disaster. I mean, he just, I don't, without seeing the head on, you're not sure, but all of a sudden he's just last, and like last by a lot. And he's just out of it, and he comes flying at the finish, but he's not even in the picture.
Just to give to Len perspective, like we figured Madhouse would control early on.
Yep.
Where did you think Barnes should be in the early stages of this Gallant Bob?
Like in the top 2 or 3, right? I mean, he's got California's sprint speed. Again, he's outside of the screen. You can't even see him. He's so far back. It was just crazy. Again, the start must have just been beyond brutal.
Okay, unless you're Lita Justice, you're not winning from back there.
No, not
in these types of sprints. Where in the speed, the fastest horses are not going to come back to you, as Madhouse is actually widening in the lane, while Barnes does put in a solid late bid, but never a threat to the winner.
To my point about the speed of the track, 108 and 3, they shaded 109, but it wasn't the horse we thought was going to do it. But yeah, Barnes just had no chance after that start. Paco is the man here, there, and just about everywhere.
In a groove is Paco, as is Madhouse, trained by David Van Winkle. 4 lifetime wins in a row, winning this $400,000 Gallant Bob. When we come back, top class fillies take the stage. Scottish Lassie, devastating winner of the Coaching Club American Oaks at Saratoga. What'll she do today? Good cheer, highly decorated. Kentucky Oaks victorious as the chase for a 3-year-old filly title heats up in the Grade 1 Cotillion. The Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby is brought to you by Parks Casino and Racing. This is how you win. And by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run. By the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. What a ride. And the Pennsylvania Breeders Association. Pennsylvania is the only place to breed and race. And that's why they run the races. Dick Jerardi, 23-1 Madhouse in the Gallant Bob. Wow.
Madhouse had $16,500 bet on him. Barnes had $275,000, all of which is going to the people who bet on Madhouse. They are very happy. They will have lots of money on their way back to Minneapolis and Canterbury Downs and Shakopee, Minnesota.
It was how much would he have to improve in order to compete with these, and in the end, it all adds up to a $49 payout for your would-be $2 investment. To Maggie in the winner's circle.
So pleased to be joined here by winning trainer Dave Van Winkle. And Dave, in a career of training horses that has lasted 36 years, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Sounds right.
First greatest stakes here in the Gallant Bob, and 4th win in a row for Madhouse. He is doing so well right now.
He is. I'm really proud of the colt. Like I said, took him a long time to come into himself, but he's getting it figured out now, and he's showing what he's got.
was gonna say, he looks so confident out there. He has an abundance of speed, and he uses it to his advantage.
Yeah, he gets a little worked up, but he calmed down a little bit once he got on the racetrack and did his job.
Have you been to Parks before?
No, this is the first time I've been here.
This is amazing. Primarily based at Canterbury, Midwest.
Yeah.
How cool is it to just be here in this winner's circle on such a big day with a horse like this?
Very, very fun. It was a nice experience.
Well, congratulations, first grade stakes victory here with Madhouse.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Gallant Bob goes to the Canterbury Invader. Laffit?
Something tells me he'll be back, Dick, a first career graded stakes win for a trainer. Can you expand on that and just how significant that is?
Yeah, I mean, Dave's been training, as you said, for quite a long time. This is the top of the sport. He's probably had very few horses even have a chance at these kind of races, given the circuits that he's normally on. So this is like his Super Bowl, winning the Gallant Bob. He'll go back to Minnesota. He will be a hero. Canterbury Park is, they're still running. Their meet's going on. I'm thinking there's probably not a lot of races left at the Canterbury meet for our winner of our Gallant Bob. But yeah, it's sensational for him and the people that have really tried hard through the years, and they never get these kind of horses. And it's interesting, there was nothing to suggest that this horse was like this, but he knew something we didn't know. 23-1 later, everybody knows now.
Yeah, it's a great story. Almost like a first playoff win for a trainer winning that first career graded stakes victory. Takes place here in the $400,000 Gallant Bob. Like, that's the kind of horse like Maniac would have,
Absolutely.
right? Like a 23-1
He
shot.
probably bet like a couple hundred.
Maniac, who is with Dan Torgman, standing by of America's Best Racing.
All right, winner circle. I'm here with Dan Torgman, America's Best Racing. Dan, talk to me about America's Best Racing. What do you got going on?
Oh, thanks. So America's Best Racing is really the country's only national marketing initiative. So our goal is to take horse racing, make it look really cool, and to put it in front of the next generation of fans and bettors, and really just get them interested in the sport. And there's so many beautiful things going on in racing, especially right here today in Pennsylvania.
Hey, Ben Salem, pretty freaking cool today. I think it's a cool spot. What do you think? What are you seeing around here on a scale of 1 to 10 coolness level?
Oh, I love it. Like, the vibes are high. There are families, there are young people. It's high energy. We've seen some long shots come in already today, so I'm excited for the big races.
All right, now we're going to go to the handicapping. Give me your picks for the cotillion real quick.
I'm going to go with Good Cheer. I think she gets a good setup. There's a lot of speed up front. I think Good Cheer gets the perfect setup and wins.
I love it. Dan, I'm going to have to play that ticket. Throw it back to you in the booth, Laffit.
Great stuff at ABR, whether you're brand new to the sport or a lifelong fan. Gallant Bob in the books. And for this crowd, this events, they've been waiting for our next Grade 1 Cotillion, Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. But first things first, very pleased to introduce Feminia's
for the Ben
vocalist,
Salem High School Feminia's Chorus. They will sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Setting the tone, setting the stage. Feminia's vocalist, terrific rendition of the national anthem as the excitement builds on this Pennsylvania Derby Saturday in Ben Salem. Updated odds, Grade 1 $1 million cotillion, 3-year-old fillies, mile and a 16th, lots on the line. Scottish Lassie morning line favorite 5-2. Dual Grade 1 winner Lacara overlay 10-1. Look at that. Kentucky Oaks winner Good Cheer at 4-5. Dick, as mentioned earlier, 3 of the last 10 winners of this cotillion have been crowned. 3-year-old filly champion. This cotillion in particular, like what role could it play from a title perspective?
If one of the big three wins, they're the favorite to be 3-year-old filly champion at this point. But Nitrogen is going to have some say about this. She's going to run against Torpedo Anna and the spinster at Keeneland. The question is, how do the voters look at her? She's equally good on dirt and grass, but she's had a great year. So it's not a lock that the winner gets it, but it'll be fascinating. But the winner is the leader in the clubhouse.
Terrific addition to the Grade 1 cotillion. When we come back, the pride of Pennsylvania racing, Smarty Jones, 21 years since the Smarty Party, as talented as he was popular, and now his place in history solidified among the best of the best. Welcome back. Parks Casino and Racing, spectacular Pennsylvania Derby Saturday in the Commonwealth. As we check in with Dani, standing by in the winner's circle with a very special guest.
I'm here with Danielle Montgomery from our Turning for Home program. She's our program administrator. And Danielle, we just celebrated another Turning for Home Day. What makes this day so special and impactful for our program here?
Turning for Home Day was fantastic. You know, we bring the adopters, the horses back in, and I think the crowd gets to see that these horses go on to second careers. We had an Olympic level rider here, Ryan Wood, brought back Spirits Hero. We had Kingsville, who ran here till he was 10, and we got to show him off to the crowd, and I think it's very impactful.
And we're going into our 17th year. What can people expect new from Turning for Home?
17 is a big number this year. We actually have 17 horses going to the retired makeover in Kentucky next month, which is another great testament to the versatility of our horses. They're competing in 10 different events right on the big stage, all within just a year or two of leaving the track. So it's all good things. These horses can go on to do so many things, and they're so versatile, and we just love them.
Oh, we certainly do. Maggie, as you can see, these off-the-track thoroughbreds can do anything.
They can. They are so special. And one that is currently off the track certainly captured the hearts of America 21 years ago. The pride of Parks and Pennsylvania, Smarty Jones, captured the first two legs of the Triple Crown, narrowly defeated in the Belmont. Well, this year his name was on the ballot for the Hall of Fame up in Saratoga, and for his connections, John Service and Pat Chapman, they had a very nice surprise on hand.
It was the ending the Chapman family and thousands of Smarty fans were praying for.
Oh my.
21 years had passed, and the hopes of the National Hall of Fame was fading away. Then in February, Smarty Jones finally made the ballot. Now, the Hall of Fame would be up to the voters. What was next would be amazing.
What I remember most about Smarty Jones in 2004 is how he made people feel.
Dick Jerardi, as a writer for the Philadelphia Daily News and several national publications, covered every step Smarty would take in his illustrious racing career. A journey that included winning the 2004 Kentucky Derby.
Smarty Jones and Stewie Elliott going on to win. Smarty Jones goes on to win the Kentucky Derby in that big bonus by 2.5.
And the Preakness Stakes by a record 11.5 lengths.
Here is Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths.
The success of Smarty Jones excited sports fans around the nation. Would this 24-year-old colt finally get into the Hall of Fame? You bet he did. Jerardi and broadcaster Bruce Casella was given the honor by the Hall of Fame to let the owner of Smarty Jones, Pat Chapman, know that Smarty was in before the official announcement. So we sent our cameras to Pat's home in Sarasota, Florida to surprise her. With cameras rolling and Jerardi back in Philadelphia on the phone, Pat was finally given the word that took 21 years.
Who's this? Is this Dick?
This is DJ, so I'm wishing you luck.
Hey, Dick.
Hey, Pat, you nervous about Thursday?
I am a little concerned. I'm not really nervous. I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping the vote goes the way I want it to, but you know, if it doesn't, you know, there are all kinds of ways to lose a horse race, so you never know.
When was the last time you were in Saratoga Springs?
It's been a long time.
How would you like to go back this year with your horse being inducted into the Hall of Fame? And Pat, I'm here to tell you that the Hall of Fame has told me that Smarty Jones has been elected to the Hall of Fame.
What? What?
You heard me correctly.
Are you serious?
I am 100% serious. They were able to give us the word early so Bruce and I could tell you.
God. Are you kidding me?
No, not kidding, Pat. We would have sent Bruce all the way down there.
Are you kidding me? I thought there's a reason that. Oh my God.
Next up, Smarty's trainer, John Service. Hours before the announcement, we set up our cameras just outside of Barn 8, the former home of Smarty Jones. Now it was Pat's turn to let John know the good news.
We are going to.
Congratulations, Pat.
Oh my God.
Oh, you deserve that so much.
You deserve that. We all do. Smarty deserves it most of all.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I am so thrilled.
Oh, you got. I'm trying to keep from getting a little emotional here. That's.
Well, don't do that. They want.
I have to. I got cameras all over the place. Oh man, Chappie was looking after us, wasn't he?
He sure was. I'm telling you, he's been on our shoulders the whole way, rooting for us. He would be one happy Philadelphia guy, wouldn't he?
Then it was off to Equistar Farm, where Smarty Jones is still breeding and thriving under the care of Rodney Eckenrode. Rodney knew at this point that Smarty was in, but Pat dropped the news that Smarty would live out his life right here in Annville, Pennsylvania.
Would you do me the honor of making that place Smarty's lifetime home?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we were just talking to Dick about that, you know, hoping that his Pennsylvania roots would keep him here and for the fans. And hey, you better stop that. He just tried to take a little piece of my finger, that's all. We'll get him some more treats. You know what, Pat, you know how much we love this horse, and we would be honored to keep him however long that may be.
The induction on August 1st was incredible. Smarty fans came from all over to see their champ get the credit he deserved.
And where do you come from?
The Cleveland area of Ohio. Smarty Jones finally inducted into horse racing's Hall of Fame. Overdue in my opinion, but hey, he's here finally.
I love that we're honoring a great athlete.
It's unbelievable to be standing here today as the breeder and owner of Smarty Jones, who was on Time magazine list of most influential people. Back in 2004, he graced the cover of Sports Illustrated and many, many magazines and newspapers nationwide for years.
To Smarty himself, thank you for the thrills, the memories, and the privileges of being part of your journey. Today we enshrine Smarty Jones among the greatest to ever grace the racetrack.
Would like to thank Smarty Jones for changing my career, for touching so many people's hearts, and thank you, Smarty, for giving me the ride of a lifetime. Thank you.
The Smarty party wasn't over. 1 week later, at Equistar Farm, his fans were invited to see the newest Hall of Famer in all his glory. A day to once again celebrate the greatest horse in Pennsylvania history.
Pennsylvania bred Smarty Jones, Hall of Famer Smarty Jones. The best part of that story, Dick, is you don't have to know a thing about horse racing to understand how much that meant to Pat Chapman and everyone involved.
Yeah, when we were able to tell her that early, you could just see the emotion in her face when she heard it, Laffit. And I'll tell you this, for me, at the end of the ceremony, I had to put on sunglasses. It was inside the Fasig-Tipton Sales Pavilion. It was a very emotional day, I think, for everybody that was around the story that covered the story. Keep in mind, this is the only one of only 4 horses ever to get through the Preakness undefeated. Smarty Jones was a legend.
Hey, he's a catchy name, blue-collar background, now a Hall of Famer. Smarty Jones. What about that filly and her future, her chase for a championship? Good Cheer, Kentucky Oaks winner, and look at that, odds-on favorite, make it even money favorite for the Grade 1 $1 million cotillion next from Parks. Welcome back. Parks Casino and Racing getting closer to the first of 2 Grade 1 $1 million events. Cotillion, current odds, field, serious talent, top class 3-year-old filly, Scottish Lassie 9-5, Good Cheer, even money. Maggie's in the paddock. Maggie, in terms of the betting, one surprise, the dual Grade 1 winner Lacara hanging up there at 10-1.
That is a big price on her, Laffit, and a horse that we saw come back in the Alabama, in which that wasn't meant to be her next race. She was supposed to run in the CCA Oaks against Scottish Lassie, but unfortunately there was a health situation in which her barn had to be quarantined, so she could not run in a race. She could not train in the general population of horses. So think about it. If you're preparing for a big game and suddenly they say, no, you can't. You can't participate. You've mentally and physically prepared yourself for that day, and now you have to reroute. So that's what trainer Mark Casse had to do with Lacara, and I have to say, she looks tighter, stronger, fitter than what she did for that Alabama. And plus, she gets a little less ground to work with, which I think is way in her favor, as they have one plan with her, and it's been the same plan all along. That's go for the lead. Moving on to a horse at number 3, Clicquot, who could be the up-and-comer, as she comes off the back of a blowout score in the Indiana Oaks, her first graded stakes win, and she just looks like the longer the better. Now, again, this is a mount of 16th here, same distance she won at last time, but she's so laid back. She has this lovely, long, elegant frame to her. Laffit, I think she's one that's getting better in the latter stages of this 3-year-old season.
Jockey will be in her saddle in a moment. A wrinkle this year. Miss America 2020 is here. Camille Schreier in the paddock with a command for the riders.
They have beauty and they have grace. Which of these fillies will be crowned the winner of the $1 million Cotillion Stakes? Riders up!
Camille Schreier. When Miss America speaks, the jockeys listen.
Yeah, Camille lives in Washington Crossing, which is about 20 minutes from here. Her mom, Cheryl, actually sat next to me at the Hall of Fame ceremony, which is where we connected. And then not long later, she said, oh, by the way, my daughter was Miss America. I said, oh, okay.
Bearing the lead. Camille will be joining us on set a little bit later on with Riders Up. And Good Cheer, who is even money. And let's revisit her biggest win while still undefeated on a wet track, Churchill Downs, putting on a show in front of 100,000 plus.
Yeah, she was a heavy favorite. This is her 7th consecutive win in 7 starts. The Godolphin Blue, they had themselves a weekend, right? Winning the Oaks, then they win the Derby the next day with Sovereignty. And at that point, you're thinking, there's no way she's ever going to lose. Well, she hasn't won in her last 2. She was routed in one of the races, but much better in the Alabama one second.
Yeah, and it felt like even though she was winning these races, and winning the most prestigious race for 3-year-old fillies in the country, in the Kentucky Oaks, the speed figure hawks that look at the race on paper and the data and the analytics were saying for a while, yeah, she's winning, but she's really not that fast.
Yeah, those people like me, Laffit, who does that stuff for a living.
Try to keep your name out of it.
Yeah, there you go. 91 Buyer is the best she's ever done. She's done it a number of times. But you know what? The 3-year-old fillies have gotten slower since no Lasix in graded stakes races. That has happened over a period of years. That's why Torpedo Anna was such a one-off last year. She was running high 90s, which is why she was crushing every field she ran in.
Call to post. A tip of the cap and a welcome to these top-class 3-year-old fillies. Grade 1 Cotillion. You mentioned Torpedo Anna last year winning this race, going on to capture the Breeders' Cup Distaff, an eventual 3-year-old filly champion. Horse of the year. There's the morning line favorite, Scottish Lassie, devastating Coaching Club American Oaks winner.
She was awesome that day, winning by 15.5. Jorge Abreu, the trainer, used to work for Chad Brown. He was the top assistant for Chad before Cherie DeVoe. Bought this horse for $85,000. He said, I went back 10 times. I just wanted to see her.
Lacara, cold on the board. Classy filly on paper, the one to catch.
4 of her 5 wins gate to wire. As Maggie said, that's how if she's going to win, there's no secret. Mark Casse said, we're going to the front.
Clicquot, sharp filly, Indiana Oaks winner.
Yeah, Indiana Oaks winner for Brendan Walsh. The horse that ran second to her got beaten 20 lengths into Charlestown Oaks, but the horse that ran third came back to win a stakes race at Ellis Park, and Irad on with his 4,200 plus wins.
Among the best in the business. An Indy Bay proven sprinter running farther today.
Yeah, I thought super impressive in the Charlestown Oaks. Now, this is her first time longer than 7 furlongs, but she's got sprint speed, so we're going to have a hot contested pace here, Laffit.
Our daydreaming girl. Second to dry powder in the local prep.
On the backstretch, barn 12 for Lou Linder. Solid second in the Catherine Sophia, the prep for this race.
Good Cheer, regally bred, and she's performed accordingly.
Yeah, she looked like the one until she wasn't in her last 2 races. Can she get back to her best races? This is the right trip for her. There's enough speed. She's going to be outside. It should set up nicely.
Dry powder. Antonio Frisu in from California to ride.
Won the Catherine Sophia, the prep for this. Catherine Sophia, of course, the 2016 Kentucky Oaks winner for John Service. $50,000 bonus if she can win
That'll
this,
work.
the Catherine Sophia to the cotillion.
They are impressive. Fillies in the Grade 1 cotillion, so much on the line. Big purse, prestigious race, championship implications, including Scottish Lassie, who when she wins, just the 2 wins, she dominates, she devastates, and runs up the score, seeking a 3rd Grade 1 victory.
The race for 3-year-old filly championship is up for grabs, and today's $1 million Grade 1 cotillion will have something to say about it. Scottish Lassie is coming off an incredible 15.5-length victory in the Coaching Club American Oaks.
What an amazing effort. Scottish Lassie in the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Jorge Abreu is not only the trainer of Scottish Lassie, but one of the owners as well. He's been high on this filly ever since he picked her out at the Ocala, Florida 2-year-old training sale last year.
Scottish Lassie, last year when I went to Ocala to the sale, I went with my brother, and I must have went back and looked at this filly at least 10 times. To the point he was just telling me, like, I'm not going to go up there with you again. So I told Mr. Weston, he don't want to come, you come with me. For some reason, the minute I walked into that barn, this filly caught my eye. She's just so laid back and everything, so I said, oh, this is probably the one. And I told Steve, this is the one I want. And he pretty backed me up with everything.
When this 3-year-old filly is good, she's really good. After the CCA Oaks, Scottish Lassie could have run in the prestigious Alabama Stakes, but the cotillion was perfect timing.
And you know, when she came out of the race, out of the coaching club, and the first time I breezed her, she went on 50, but I don't ask her anyway first breeze back. I don't ask him to do much. I just didn't see that 50 like good enough for me to run in the Alabama. So I told the owner, I said, you know, going right after the coaching club, we said we're going to go to the cotillion just for timing. Then he breezed 5A, and he said she's back. And she's been doing that, you know, every week she's been breathing very impressive. I think she's doing really, really good. You know, I think she acting to me the same way going into this race, the same way she acted to me going into the Coaching Club American Oaks.
The #1 post position is not ideal for Scottish Lassie, but Jorge is confident his jockey Joel Rosario will make the right adjustments.
Well, the good thing, there's a lot of speed in the race, and Rosario is a good jockey. He knows the field pretty well. I'm just going to leave it up to him. I'm going to let him ride his race.
The field has several graded stakes competitors. Top fillies like Kentucky Oaks winner Good Cheer, Acorn winner Lacara, but Abreu is optimistic Scottish Lassie will get the job done.
I mean, you have some quality horses in there. You have like Caro, which is a nice horse. You have Dry Powder, who's been running very well. It's a competitive field. You can't take none of them apart, you know. But we're ready to go. She showed me that she belongs in the race, and I have the jock to back me up and makes me feel good. I'm very confident.
Don't know what to expect. A little feast or famine is Scottish Lassie. Which version will show up today as we welcome in Miss America 2020 to the set, Camille Schreier. Camille, welcome to the set, and great job with Riders Up.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here for the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby. What an exciting day here in Pennsylvania racing.
So, Camille, what was more exciting, calling the Riders Up or visiting with Smarty Jones at Equistar Farm on August the 9th?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, Smarty Jones is iconic to the state of Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania racing, so that was an incredible opportunity to be able to welcome him into the Hall of Fame here in PA, but Riders Up was pretty cool, I have to tell you.
How did you, your first interest or introduction to the sport of thoroughbred racing, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I'm a horsewoman at heart. I've been riding since I was 8 years old. I've grown up an equestrian, and so horse sports have been part of my life, but I've been recently introduced into thoroughbred racing. My parents have now purchased some stakes in racehorses across the country and are very involved. They came to parks when I was a kiddo, really getting introduced into what horses are capable of. They're magical animals, and I think working with them as a kid really has helped shape me who I am right now as an adult.
Now, your mom sat right next to me at the Hall of Fame
Yes.
ceremony. We became friendly. Does she talk about anything except horse racing?
No, not anymore, actually. It's really our full conversations at home, but as someone who really loves and respects horses and the sportsmanship of what it means to be around thoroughbred racing especially, I'm excited to have that be part of our family.
Do you know anything about this human slot machine here at Parks? Are you familiar?
No, I'll have to get the rundown after we chat.
Check it out. Check, yeah, just the Maniac. Who else? The Maniac, to explain exactly what the human slot machine is all about.
Yeah, that's a new one.
All right, folks, we are in the picnic grove here. It doesn't get any more fun than this. It's the human slot machine, the Bet Parks human slot machine here in the picnic grove at Pennsylvania Derby Day, 4 to 7. We got a lucky contestant here. What's your name?
Javier Villarreal.
Where are you from?
Texas.
All right, what I need you to do is whack that thing. Hit it for me. Hit that button. Come on over. Come on over. We need sound. We need sound. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it again. Go hit it again. Go hit it again. All right, here we go. Come on over. Come on over. Oh, you got two. You got 2 out of 3. Go get yourself a prize. We got one more contestant here. One more contestant. Go over there. You're welcome. You're welcome. Who we got here? What's your name?
Donna.
Donna? Where are you from, Donna?
New Jersey.
You feeling lucky today?
I hope so.
All right, let's do the human slot machine. Go ahead. All right, come on over, Donna. Come on over, Donna. A football, a football. Oh, 3 footballs! We got a winner! It's a load of fun here in the picnic grove. Stop on down and see the Bet Parks slot machine, the human slot machine here, 4 to 7. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Pennsylvania Derby.
Human slot machine, Miss America on set with us. A different feel to this year's Pennsylvania Derby. Maggie and Dani, as they've just about reached post time here for the cotillion.
One thing's for sure is you can't beat the Maniac. Dani, he's just so highly entertaining.
I love it. I get to hang with them all the time. But what do you think it is? What do you think as they get closer to the gate?
Well, both you and I have been really impressed with Clico from her preparations here at Parks, from her training back in Kentucky with Brendan, and what she's shown us here pre-race too.
Yeah, she's been taking it all in, even walking over, just a pro. She looks like a happy horse that's really thriving.
Now, Dry Powder, she's the one who won the local prep, this Catherine Sophia, and I've been a fan of hers throughout her campaign. Now, I know she was entered in that CCA Oaks, and it was so strange because we thought for sure they were going to use her speed. And Jose Lascano that day never got her out of a jog in the warm-up, so indicating to me that he wasn't going to try to go for the lead, which I thought was really bizarre. They've reached out to Antonio Frezu, who Chad Summers has a relationship with.
Yeah, and it rode second last year in Stronghold on the PA Derby. I like the jockey here from the outside. Back to Laffit.
As Dry Powder steps forward, Lacara, anticipated pace setter number 2, looking for a 3rd Grade 1 victory, but the favorite, Godolphin's Good Cheer. Final check of the toe board reading 6 to 5. Jessica Paquette with the call.
In the cotillion. Good start for this field of 7. Lacara, speed right out of the gate. Indy Bay, Good Cheer. Dry Powder, 4. All have some speed, and Dry Powder hustles up to assert herself early as they go into the first turn. Dry Powder goes a bit wide. Lacara, she skims the rail. Then it's Indy Bay. Scottish Lassie settles in pretty tight on the rail in the white blinkers. Good Cheer, she's into 4th. Then it's Clico, she's unhurried, she's into 6th. Our Daydreaming Girl, she's at the back, 7th and last. They go through the first turn, 23-3 the opening quarter, and Lacara, she has a half-length advantage on the outside. Dry Powder tracks in 2nd. Then it's Clico, Good Cheer, she moves up into 3rd. Indy Bay still in on the rail. Then back to Scottish Lassie, she and Daydreaming Girl, they're in no rush, they're at the back. And Lacara continues to set the pace with pressure from Dry Powder, 47-1. Lacara, she leads the way. Dry Powder sticks with her. Then it's Good Cheer, Clico in between. Indy Bay, she's in 3rd, she's in on the rail. Scottish Lassie beginning to inch a little bit closer. Nothing yet from our Daydreaming Girl. They head into the far turn, and Lacara, she's faced on the outside by Dry Powder. They head through the far turn, 47-1 for the half. Lacara under pressure from Dry Powder now. They're on even terms. Clico, she's in 3rd, beginning to gain. Then it's back to Good Cheer. Scottish Lassie, she's into 5th. Our Daydreaming Girl, she's getting in gear from the back. And on the front end, it is Dry Powder. She's running a huge race. Lacara continues to fight on. Clico found her momentum down the center of the track. And our Daydreaming Girl, she is gaining late, flying down the center of the track. Clico with a narrow lead. Our Daydreaming Girl continues to charge. A 16th left. Clico trying to hold off. Dry Powder to the inside. Fights on. Clico down to the line. Get that champagne ready. Clico is the winner of the cotillion. Final time, 1:42.4.
Pop the cork. That's $1 million win. Clico and star jockey Gerardo Ortiz in the Grade 1 $1 million cotillion.
Brendan Walsh was 2nd here 2 years ago with this Kentucky Oaks winner, pretty mischievous. He gets the money with Clico. Look, she took all that betting action, Laffit, from the start. and she ran great, and so did our Catherine Sophia winner, Dry Powder. And major kudos to our track announcer, Jessica Paquette. She told me early in the week she loved our Daydreaming Girl. The 6 was flying at 40 to 1 down the center for Lou Linder to run third.
Wild finish. Clico out-dueling Dry Powder to the wire. Far outside, as you mentioned, our Daydreaming Girl. Dick, where were the big fillies? Where were the stars?
They were nowhere. Both were 8-5. Scottish Lassie never really got a pop. LaCara made the lead, not under a tremendous amount of heat. I mean, she's had that kind of lead before, and she just did nothing. So our 2 of our Grade 1 winners did nothing, and it was kind of a bizarre race, right, from beginning to end. But good for Brendan Walsh. He came here with the big favorite, got really in a bad situation where he didn't have the horse with the speed. This time he had the right horse in the right spot.
LaCara, black and white colors of Tracy
easy.
Farmer. She establishes the lead.
Yeah.
Dry Powder. It looked like she might apply pressure, and then she settled back. Turning for home, you could tell she was empty. Good Cheer was really being encouraged. And Scottish Lassie much farther back than anticipated.
Look, I think the inside post was not helpful for Scottish Lassie. When you watch her good races, Laffit, she's in the clear without traffic around her. That was not the case here. So, I mean, we basically have 3 horses coming down to the wire. Clico was the only one taking major action, although our Catherine Sophia winner, Dry Powder, was just second there. She was 7-1, and again, here comes the 40-1 shot for Lou Linder, barn 12, right across the way from us. Lou had a lot of live horses all weekend, and for him to get third in a Grade 1 is going to be one of the thrills of a lifetime for a local guy who's had a really couple of good years here at Parks.
Arad Ortiz is every year is a good year.
Yes.
A 5-time Eclipse Award winner. Again, like an MVP for jockeys. Just captured another Saratoga riding title. You heard Maggie and Dani discussing Clico, who still has room to improve. She's still learning. Just her 5th career start. She's rattled off 4 straight, and just like that, a Grade 1 cotillion winner. It's been upsets since we said hello to our audience. Will that trend continue? Because it's the boys' turn. Baeza, hoping that trend stops right there. No Sovereignty to tangle with this afternoon. He's in from the West, Pennsylvania Derby favorite. Standing in his way, another West Coast invader, goal-oriented. Very soon, they'll meet in the main event. A filly on the ascend. Clico, 4 straight victories and now a Grade 1 winner. The Indiana Oaks Victress takes down the $1 million cotillion.
Yeah, daughter of Quality Road, a terrific sire, a really good racehorse back in the day. And again, happy for Brendan because he came in with a favorite 2 years ago. Very impressive win. I mean, once she made that move, Laffit, she kept going.
Rod Ortiz has pulled off a few upsets here
Yes,
over
he
the
has.
years. A Math Wizard Pennsylvania Derby winner, 30-some-odd
Handsome
to 1.
Mike.
Handsome Mike was 17 to 1. Rad Ortiz, but Clico trained by Brendan Walsh with Maggie in the winner's circle.
Wow, Brendan, I know you guys are confident coming in here with Clico, but she really stamped herself as a top 3-year-old filly.
Yeah, huge question for her today, Maggie, taking on these fillies, but you know, she kept improving all year, and we knew she was sitting on a big one. It was a question of whether it was going to be big enough, and for her, it's all her. I mean, she's just a star.
She looks it too. Definitely all class and quite a physical too, but you're not done yet. Having 2 in the big one coming up next to PA Derby. Gosker, second to journalism, twice in the Haskell and Preakness, but also David of Athens, who's been working very well with his stablemate.
Yeah, no, they should both be pretty live. We'll see what happens. You know, Gosker's had a great year. He just needs one of these big ones, and David's a nice horse in the making as well. So we'll see what happens.
You're pretty good with those up-and-comers, I'd say. So best of luck, but congratulations here in the cotillion.
Thanks, Maggie.
Clico, I'm sure they'll be popping some bottles of that tonight with Clico taking this $1 million cotillion. Laffit?
Yeah, they will, especially if they factor as well. 1260 Clico over Dry Powder. Our Daydreaming Girl, a huge price, completing the trifecta. Who else might be popping a cork or 2? Team Nitrogen, and what that means and what this race means from the big fillies here, not only not winning the cotillion, but really kind of a no-show off-the-board performances for all of them.
The best they did was the 4th. by Scottish Lassie. I mean, the top three were the three Grade 1 winners. None of them hit the top three. So to your point, Laffit, we mentioned Nitrogen as a major player for 3-year-old filly championship. She didn't win today in the race, but she won. Mark Cassie's Lacara did really not anything like she can normally do, but that's also a Mark Cassie filly Nitrogen. He might have himself a 3-year-old filly champ.
Surprising outcome. Again, why they run the races, though. She was bet. She did take a lot of action despite the lack of experience.
Somebody knew something.
Yeah. You're looking at the morning line still here for the 45th edition of the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Baeza 2-1 morning line favorite. Make it even money. We just received that update. Baeza even money favorite as we check in with the Maniac.
All right, back in the Picnic Grove. I'm with Ashley Eisenbiel from the PHRA. Ashley, you have a beautiful tent here. What color would you say this is, actually?
Like a teal.
A teal? A teal? All right, tell us about what you got going on here in the Picnic Grove today.
We have lots of free giveaways, including sunglasses. So if you're here, come on over, get your free shades. You're going to need them because it's a beautiful day. We have a sweepstakes going on that we are giving away, a new Stanley cooler and a Stanley cup. So you can come sign up for that. We also are selling some merch, including our Adopt a Racehorse.
Adopt a Racehorse.
But not
These are big. These are a big hit with the kids.
They are. They're not a real racehorse, but they are a stuffed animal racehorse, and they have bios on each of them letting you know about a real racehorse that has been retired through one of our aftercare programs, and all the money goes to aftercare. We also have some cool T-shirts and swag from our Hot to Trot podcast as well.
Well, I'm going to have to get some of those free sunglasses because you know what they say. If it's free, it's for me. And that's all I got. That's all I got. What else is going on with the PHRA? Talk to us about the PHRA.
Well, PHRA represents both harness and thoroughbred racing, and we are a platform that wants to educate new fans about our industry and breeding and what goes on behind the scenes in these racetracks. So you can head on over to penhorseracing.com. We have lots of educational material there, how to read a program, what the poles on the track actually mean, and a lot of that language you might not understand when you hear at the racetrack. You know, what's a chalk? What's a furlong? All those kinds of fun information that you don't want to ask while you're here, but you want to know what it is.
I love it. I love it. So for all you newbies out there, check out PHRA. Ashley, enjoy the beautiful day. Let me get a pair of those sunglasses. Throw it back to you in the booth, Laffit.
What a fun day. Terrific day at Parks. It's something for everyone. And the headline affair still ahead. While the duck can be a little bit distracting, we do have updated odds with Baeza, the 2-1 morning line favorite, third in the Kentucky Derby, third in the Belmont Stakes, even money favorite. Parks' signature race is next. And when we come back, among the greatest of all time, legendary trainer Dwayne Lucas, the coach as he was affectionately known, passed away in June. Terribly missed, it's an understatement, but leaves behind a lasting legacy and the memory of last year's PA Derby, saddling Seize the Gray to victory. Excitement builds. Pennsylvania Derby is next. Live look, Parks Casino and Racing, with the signature event of the mate coming up in just a few moments. Of course, the major story last year, well, it was the presence of the Preakness winner, Seize the Gray. Presence of his trainer, legend Dwayne Lucas. He's a man who revolutionized the sport, changed the way thoroughbreds would be trained forever. Very sadly, Wayne passed away in June at the age of 89, and the sport will never be the same without him.
It had been a mid-September ritual at Parks for more than a decade. A few days before the Pennsylvania Derby, the Wayne Lucas van would pass through the stable gate with a horse or horses the legendary trainer planned to run on PA Derby Day. Ever since he brought Travers winner Will Take Charge 4 hours south from Saratoga to win the 2013 Pennsylvania Derby, Lucas simply was not going to miss PA Derby Day.
It's the Travers winner, Will Take Charge. He comes from off the pace, and look at Will Take Charge. The big colt has done it again.
on. I was comfortable driving in here, seeing these dormitories and seeing these barns and stuff. I said, hell, this is a pretty good spot right here. And with that big old mountain of a casino sitting over there, I got to believe that this thing's going to continue to get better. And I'm gonna put it definitely on our radar screen. I like what I see so far. Now it would really help if everybody let me win this, and then I would feel a lot better about the whole place.
Lucas was back again last September with his Preakness winner, Seize the Gray. The colt had not won since Pimlico, but Lucas, as always, was the eternal optimist.
Anytime you can come back where you won one that big and everything, I really enjoyed it here. I enjoyed the Will Take Charge whole scenario of what happened there, and I'm looking forward to it again.
His belief was rewarded again when Seize the Gray stormed home to give the man who changed the game in so many ways his final Grade 1 victory of his incredible, epic career.
And Seize the Gray, he's going to seize the day in the Pennsylvania Derby. Seize the Gray gets the win.
Coach, we saw you celebrate your 89th birthday a couple weeks ago. You still prove day in and day out that you are a master of this game.
In an interview we did a few days before the Pennsylvania Derby, Lucas was talking up his 2-year-olds and explaining how the yearlings he had bought and was about to buy would be along in 2 years. When it was explained to him that he was going to turn 90 on September 2nd, 2025, he just smiled that knowing smile only the true believers would ever consider.
I'm afraid to retire. I think that I'll get old too quick. I think that if you get on that sofa, and that sofa pulls at you too. You get up, I get up at 3:30 every morning, and I have to walk right by that recliner, and it pulls at you, and you get about halfway through the morning, and then you think, damn, I got to go to the race this afternoon. But I have got a pair of clients or two now that I really enjoy being around, and they're not concerned about my age, and so why would I be?
Sadly, there was no van and no horses this September as the great trainer passed away on June 28th. So now we are just left with the memories of 4 Kentucky Derbies, 7 Preakness wins, 4 in the Belmont Stakes, 20 in the Breeders' Cup, those 2 in the Pennsylvania Derby, and all those conversations with an American original, D. Wayne Lucas.
What a legacy he leaves behind, D. Wayne Lucas. Remember the affection from the crowd, recognizing what had happened last year when he saddled Seize the Gray to win the Pennsylvania Derby. And he had given you a little bit of a heads up about Seize the Gray a few months prior.
In fact, he had Laffit, and I just last saw Wayne 2 days before this year's Preakness, and I said, Wayne, do you have something for me for this year's PA Derby? And he said, yeah, I already know what I'm doing. And I thought back, Laffit, it was 45 years before at that same stakes barn at Pimlico where Codex put Wayne Lucas on the map with his first of all those Triple Crown race wins.
Never another one like him, the legend, D. Wayne Lucas. With the 3-year-olds in the paddock, live look at goal-oriented for trainer Bob Baffert. Baffert looking for a 5th win in the Pennsylvania Derby, currently 9-2 in Jerardi. Ortiz looking for a cotillion PA Derby sweep. That's next. Getting closer and closer to post time for this Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. Current odds with the favorite, number 8 Baeza. Even money, second choice, Morning Line, goal-oriented, 9-2. Third choice, look at that, Gosker, strong second choice at 2-1, which reminds us to remind you to take advantage of this. New users to Bet Parks can now get up to $1,000 back in casino bonuses within their first 24 hours by using code DERBY or simply scan the QR code on the screen. We check in with the Maniac.
All right, we're back in the picnic grove. We're on the grills now. I'm with Brian and Shirley. Brian, where are you from?
Maple Shade, New Jersey.
Maple Shade, New Jersey. Shout out Maple Shade.
Oh, yeah.
Philly, go Birds!
What part of Philly?
Everywhere.
All over the place. That's a love story in itself. Jersey, Philly. It's all love here today in the picnic grove. What do we got going on the grill here, Brian? You're like the grill master.
Oh, yeah. We got sausage, burgers, hot dogs, chicken.
Well, I am getting a little bit hungry. I might need one of those sausages. You think you can hook me up with one of them?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, go ahead. Get me one of them. I'm going to try one of those right now. Loads of fun, loads of people, loads of great racing here today at Parks. Ben Salem, beautiful day, top 5 day, I think, actually, in the for the year, top 5 day. and it doesn't get much better than a fresh sausage sandwich straight off the grill. Now all we got to do is pick some winners.
I heard it go Birds. I heard it go Birds. I need a go A.J. Brown, Dick Girardi. That's what I need.
Your fantasy team
is suffering.
You are not happy at all with A.J. through 2 games.
Priorities, man. Priorities. To Dani.
I'm here with Brian Sanfratello of the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders. And Brian, you had a huge day yesterday. It was PA day at the races. Right. And these PA breds, they're just showing they can do it all. Why is it so important to show our Pennsylvania breeding program and bring the community together on a big day like yesterday?
Well, again, we bring everyone together. We had over 400 breeders here who put all their time and effort into breeding their horses and getting them ready for racing. But we arguably have the best breeding program in the country. But not because we only give out $27 million a year over the past 13 years. But breeding and racing in Pennsylvania is responsible for 23,000 jobs in PA, $1.6 billion in economic impact, and hundreds of thousands of acres of open space. So that's the real message.
Yeah, I mean, huge for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we've seen these PA breds on the big stage win the Kentucky Derby and the Breeders' Cup. They can do just about anything.
Yeah, they can. Horses that have performed on this stage gone on to even bigger, even better. Will that be the case for Baeza, who is currently even money, has to be thrilled to look around, not see sovereignty lurking or journalism. Finally, for once, he's the headliner. Baeza, the favorite in the 45th running of the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby.
Furlong to go. McKenzie is in front. Axelrod set down by Joe Bravo. Mike Smith working on McKenzie. McKenzie holding on. Axelrod is full out. McKenzie is clear as they come down to the finish. Baffert, Smith, McKenzie. They've done it. McKenzie has it by 2.
One of 4 Pennsylvania Derby winners trained by Bob Baffert. McKenzie, and 7 years later, still making his presence felt at Parks. The sire of the favorite. There he is, Baeza. We know he has the talent. And he spent a lot of time this spring trying to slay monsters. But this time, maybe he's the monster. Maybe finally, it's his time to shine.
The talent is there for Baeza. He's danced in most of the big races. The Santa Anita Derby, where he finished 2nd.
It is journalism just in front of Baeza. Write this down. Journalism is the best in the West.
The Kentucky Derby, a 3rd place finish.
Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baeza is 3rd, but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby.
Another 3rd in the Belmont Stakes.
Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado in the Belmont Stakes. Journalism was 2nd. Baeza finished 3rd.
And finally, the Jim Dandy, a length behind Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes winner, Sovereignty.
Baeza is trying his best to cling to him, but it's Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado still on top. And still with plenty left in the tank.
I'm very proud of what he's done. He's run very well in those races, and you know, we feel like he's an improving horse.
Despite not getting to the winner's circle, his trainer John Sheriffs feels great about his 3-year-old.
When Hector Berrios was going to ride him on Saturday, worked him the last time, he said he's much more focused, right? Usually he looks around a little bit and watches what's going on, but now he's running straighter and is more focused.
And Sheriffs is happy with post position number 8 and confident jockey Hector Berrios will have him in great position.
You think maybe Magnitude would try to make the lead, so I think there's going to be maybe 3 horses that are going to try to get a very good position early out of the gate. I think Baeza will be probably right behind them, depending upon how he breaks. He's in the 8 hole, so I think he's got a good post position. He can kind of size things up as he comes out of the gate.
Trying to follow in Dad's footsteps, McKenzie, Baeza. It can be discouraging running and trying to defeat a superstar like a Sovereignty. Baeza, Dick, right now, where are you with him as he tries to win what will just be his second career victory.
Judging by his work last Friday at Santa Anita 8 days ago, I think he's sitting on the race of his life. And John Sheriffs has always thought that. Keep in mind, he was a late starter. He didn't get started until December of last year as a 2-year-old. So he was always playing catch-up. But you watch that work, and he was in against an unraced 3-year-old. I'm going, I wonder who that horse is. So I asked John Sheriffs. I said, who is that horse? He said, that's just the second best 3-year-old I have in my barn. Wait till you see him. And Baeza just ran away from him. It was super impressive. He's ready to run the biggest races ever.
Sheriffs, who trained the mighty Zenyatta. Over to Dani.
All right, I'm here with Jeff Maddie, our executive director of the PTHA, and we have 3 new inductees into our Hall of Fame. Tell us about them.
You know, it's a great testament to their body of work for all 3 of them. We have Mr. Chuck Zachney with Cash is King, Favorite Tale, Pennsylvania bred, and Mr. Ed Simon. You know, 2 great individuals. Mr. Zachney owning great horses over the years. Mr. Simon always having the horseman's back. He was our longtime director of finance. And Favorite Tale, Pennsylvania bred, that went to the Breeders' Cup and made us proud. So really great group of inductees. We could not be more excited to celebrate them on October 21st.
And I know you have to be so proud. What a spectacular day today, Jeff.
Yeah, Mother Nature cooperated. Our horsemen, it's just a fantastic day, overwhelmed, and could not be more excited to put on the day for the world.
Absolutely. Back to you guys.
Biggest day of the year, signature day, thoroughbred racing here at Parks. And yeah, Dick, you have some company now, more company in the Hall of Fame, of which you're a part of.
Yeah, Ed Simon, a finance director here, long time, just recently retired. Chuck Zachney, of course, a Fleet Alex. I mean, one of the legends ever, and Chuck's been a major player here. And Favorite Tale finished 3rd in the 2015 Breeders' Cup Sprint. His owner, Paul Conaway, a great guy, unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. But one of the all-time great, trained here by Parks Hall of Famer Lupe Preciado. Favorite Tale, one of the great PA breds we've had. $1 million earner, and he did it the hard way, race after race after race.
He was a gallant Bob winner, I believe. Favorite Tale,
Indeed,
as you
he
mentioned,
was.
that 3rd place finish in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Goal-oriented. There he is. Rod Ortiz to ride. Again, looking at that, looking for the Cotillion PA Derby sweep. The Haskell in his latest, running so well against the Preakness winner Journalism.
Yeah, this is Gosker, and at this point, you're goal-oriented. You're thinking it's them, but of course, here he comes. The horse with the patented late finish, the Relentless Journalism, is the 2 on the outside. Is going to get up just over Gosker, and goal-oriented's the horse nearer the rail. That's the best race he's ever run. Laffit, I'll be honest with you, I haven't loved his works coming in, but Mr. Baffert shows up 4 times he's won this race. I told him after table when I texted him, I said, they're going to rename the race the Baffert Derby.
It's not just Baffert. By the way, love the fight that goal-oriented showed in the Haskell.
For sure.
But of the last 12 Pennsylvania Derbies, like 6 have shipped in from California.
Yeah,
bodes well for goal-oriented, bodes well for the favorite Baeza.
And we mentioned Baeza got a late start. This horse didn't start till April the 6th. Talk about late starts. I mean, he's very lightly raced. That's why I think Bob has always had high hopes for him. We'll see if he can show up and do it today.
And where's the steam coming from? Where's it coming from? Gosker, second choice, 2-1. Maybe he just looks that good, Maggie.
He does look very good in here, and flattered, of course, being beaten by Journalism in his last 2 efforts. But I'm going to check in with Brendan's other horse, and that's number 4, David of Athens, as he sits up there at 13-1. Now, when it comes to practice, sometimes it's not always about practice. Take Allen Iverson, for instance. But in their morning training together, David of Athens and Gosker have been together. And in both of their recent workouts, David of Athens has been performing better in the morning. Now, this is the longest test. This is the longest race he's ever had to run in. And it does raise some question marks, for me at least, looking at him physically for this son of Nyquist. He's a bit smaller, a little bit shorter coupled. Sometimes that physical frame doesn't lend itself well to getting more ground. Big Truz, kind of same thing. Huge performance last time out in the Ellis Park Derby, but what happened when going in mile and a 16th in the Indiana Derby when he was favored? He looked good last time. He looks sensational here in the paddock. Laffit, we'll see, can these horses handle the mile and an eighth today?
Nothing would surprise me. Absolutely nothing based on what we've seen thus far. To Mayor Joe in the paddock.
Welcome everybody to beautiful Bend Salem, Parks Racing. Riders up!
Concise, effective, right to the point. And Mayor Joe going to join us on set.
He is going to join us on set, and Mayor Joe is the mayor for life, essentially. He's been the mayor for so long, nobody remembers when he wasn't the mayor. And Laffit will ask him about this, but he remembers this place before it was a racetrack, and it's been a racetrack 51 years.
I was going to say, you know, if you give the audience a winner, you're guaranteed re-election. But as you said, it pretty much sounds like he's guaranteed re-election regardless.
Mayor Joe needs no help in Ben-Salem Township, trust me.
Riders up. Rod Ortiz, yes, he has surprised us. Math Wizard 31-1, 2019. Handsome Mike back in 2012 at 19-1. Here with goal-oriented, where should he be situated early on to be most effective?
You know he's going to want to be in the top 3 or 4 for sure. And he's got California speed. I can't think of a reason why he wouldn't be there. And look, Bob Baffert's an aggressive trainer. Irad's an aggressive rider. He'll be up there fairly close, I would think.
Some strange things, unpredictable things that we've seen in terms of race shape, and where serious contenders where we figured they would be in these marquee races and where they wound up.
Yeah, look, magnitude on paper is the speed,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, he's supposed to be out there. He's 11-1, and he's run those 2 gigantic races. Can he do that here is the question. The Iowa Derby here is, I mean, he was a length in front most of the way, and then he just ran away from the field. He got a 105 Beyer figure, which was similar to that Risen Star win when he got a 108. And at that point, he was a major player for the Derby. Unfortunately, he had an injury. He had to sit out. He didn't run from the Risen Star all the way into the summer at the Iowa Derby. Then, of course, he came back and flopped completely in the Travers.
But on the strength, called the post, on the strength of that win, there's like a small army that felt he had a legitimate chance to defeat Sovereignty in the Travers.
Yeah, I was one of those people until he came out of the first turn only a length in front. I said, he's got no shot. Yeah, he was one of these where he needed to be 5 in front and make Sovereignty run fast to catch up. That didn't happen.
Magnitude. Then Big Truz, trained by Brian Lynch. Javier Castellano, the Hall of Famer in the saddle in his most recent effort, this daylight score in the Ellis Park Derby early August.
This is going to be a 7-length win and 100 Beyer. This was kind of very different than anything he'd done up to this point. But sometimes, look, again, he hasn't had a lot of races, 5 races, so they can blow up at any time, these 3-year-olds. Well, Big Trust blew up that day. If he can come back to that, Laffit, that makes him a major contender.
How do you think he'll handle? Can he thrive? Can he bring his best, his A game at this 1 1/8 distance?
Yeah, that's really the issue. Look, he is a son of Triple Crown winner Justify, so you'd think the pedigree says, okay, Justify's turned out to be one of the best sires in the world early in his career. So I make him a contender. And look, Javier won a race earlier on the card, and he's closing on 6,000 wins. He's a little over 100 away. What a career he's had.
Won about 6,000 Travers Stakes, 7-time Travers winner. Post Parade Brewing, Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. You're looking at So Sandy and Barbaros owners Roy and Gretchen Jackson.
And now they have that great grass filly, She's So Pretty, with Cherie DeVoe. And Kendrick had an unbelievable meet at Saratoga where he had 29 wins. He finished 5th in the standings. My man, Kendrick Carmouche.
Altabelli claimed for $15,000 in March, now running for $1 million.
It says he's 99-1 on the board, Laffit, because it doesn't go any higher. I don't know what his number is, but it's a lot higher than that. He broke his maiden for 12-5, beaten 28 lengths in his last 2 at Delaware Park. Seems up against it.
Magnitude, come and catch me if you can.
Yeah, absolutely awesome when loose on the lead. He's going to be very dangerous if he can clear this field, and I think there's that potential. But, you know, Laffit, he's not super fast the first quarter, and there's other horses that have speed in him.
David of Athens, lightly raced, improving colt.
It's by 2016 Derby winner Nyquist, who ran in that year's Pennsylvania Derby, as we just saw a giant win at Ellis Park. This is another Ellis Park course. Giant win at Ellis Park for David of Athens. Got a 96 Beyer that day.
Happily delusional, never see any of that at the racetrack. Then goal-oriented and powerhouse connections.
Yeah, for sure. This is the Baffert career best 101 Beyer when he was 3rd in the Haskell Stakes. And happy delusional, just for the people that remember, his trainer just had the 3rd place finisher of the Cotillion, so don't be deluded that he doesn't have a chance. He's 70-1.
Big Truz, you just saw that big daylight win in the Ellis Park Derby.
Yeah, the question is, was that a one-off, or is this the new normal for Big Truz? And that's the hardest part about this sport. I would say when people get 10-1 on a horse like that, then you might want to think about betting on him.
Baeza, the favorite. No sovereignty to wrestle with today.
Yeah, $1.2 million yearling. Has it really been 20 years since Giacomo's Derby for John Sheriffs and 15 since Zangiato's last race?
1 year since Smarty Jones. Hard to believe. A Gosker, like the least heralded Preakness Haskell runner-up ever known.
Yeah, huge lead in the Preakness. It leads by 5 at the 8th pole. I still don't know how journalism won the race. Nobody does, but he found a way to do it. Another big lead in the Haskell. Just got run down by journalism. No journalism today.
Moplex, New York bred, loved his Ohio Derby victory.
I did too. He's way back, however, in the Jim Dandy. J.D. Ramos, the jockey, he is the second leading rider at Horseshoe, Indianapolis.
Trained by Maya Engelhardt, standing by live with Dani.
Yeah, here at Jeremiah and Moplex, he looks great. He's been so much fun to watch. He has a lot of speed to his inside. Where do you need to see him positioned to get the most out of him?
You know, he's the type of horse that, you know, we've tried changing his running styles a couple different times, and he just kind of let him get himself into his own rhythm. I think being able to use his natural speed and he can carry that for a long ways. So ideally he's close, probably stalking maybe 1 or 2 horses on the outside and making them work to get to him at a certain point in the race.
Well, you had a win here yesterday at Parks. Good luck today. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you very much, Dani. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
He could run for mayor of Saratoga. We have Mayor Joe on set. Great job with Riders Up.
Oh, great. This is wonderful. What a day. What an incredible day here at Parks Racing. I'm so thrilled. I haven't seen it like this in a long time, and even better than last year. So it's improving. More people coming out. They're more interested in racing, and I see a lot of younger people here today. It's great.
And Mayor Joe, you've seen some things. In fact, I just told our audience, you know what this place was like before it was ever built over a half a century ago. Tell us about what used to be here.
This was a farm. It was called Becker Farms, actually, and it was a vegetable farm for many, many years. And the driveway, you can still see it if you ever look from Mechanicsville Road. There's a row of trees that came into here. And certainly I watched it evolve. And the track being built in those days those days, the track was like this all the time, all the weekends. Racing was a little bit different. It's coming back. I see it, and I'm thrilled to death on it.
So on this day, and some of the biggest stars in the sport, both human and equine, how can you lend perspective to the level of pride to all the fans here celebrating this marquee day of thoroughbred racing today?
Oh, it's incredible because it's something that hasn't the energy, it's synergy and energy that's here that I haven't seen in a long time. And it brings back what we saw before, and the horses, come on, they're magnificent. So we're thrilled to death, and I think everybody in racing here today should be thrilled. Great races.
How much does the track and the casino across the parking lot mean to your township?
Oh, it means a heck of a lot to us. Listen, if it wasn't for horse racing, there'd be no casinos here in Pennsylvania. Let's face it. That was the thing, and that's what I pushed for, because racing all throughout the state, how many jobs? My goodness, was 30, 40,000 jobs. And that's what brought the casino. So, and the casino's great business partners with us also.
And as we get closer to post time for the Pennsylvania Derby, do you have an opinion, a selection? Who winds up in the winner's circle?
I do, but I don't think I should say it.
Go ahead, Joe. You're among friends here. Come on.
It's the 8-horse. Come on.
Baeza's going to win.
Yeah,
Baeza. Very nice.
Baeza, the current favorite for the upcoming Pennsylvania Derby. As our coverage continues from Parks, you take a look at the updated odds. Baeza now 6-5 as we get closer to post time and check in with Maggie.
And Laffit, based on credentials, Dani, Baeza definitely deserves to be favorite. And I thought his performance last time behind arguably one of the best horses in the world, Sovereignty, was excellent. He finally behaved well at Saratoga that day. Today, it's not quite the same case.
No, looking around a lot. John Sheriffs was on the other end of the shank and really just keeping a close eye on his colt.
And two, I would just like him to settle a bit, but definitely, not having Sovereignty in here is going to help him. Now, how about goal-oriented? I wasn't in love with his Haskell performance. I thought he was on the wrong lead. I know he's kind of lightly raced, relatively speaking, in here. He did look amazing in the preliminaries leading up to this PA Derby.
Yeah, this was the best I've seen him. I watched him train this week, and he really seemed to get over our track very well and efficiently.
Now, how about Gosker? Another one that's been knocking heads with the best of the division, almost, and really looked home free in the Preakness, the second jewel of the Triple Crown. He's one of two here for Brendan Walsh, who looks to sweep the Cotillion and PA Derby.
I mean, could he do it? I heard Luis Saez say after the Haskell, I had him in a position to win the whole time. He didn't, though. Journalism won. So is he good enough? We'll see, but he does look fabulous.
He does. A super athletic individual, comes in here off a little bit of a break, but we'll see. It would be pretty amazing to take the double. And I have a question, Laffit, for Dick, who is our encyclopedia when it comes to this race. Has the double ever been pulled off?
Cotillion, Pennsylvania Derby sweep by one trainer.
Not to my knowledge. Off the top of my head.
I'm glad she asked you that question.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't remember it.
Hey, if he don't know, nobody knows. Big Trust, final thoughts on him as he gets set to load into the gate.
I think he's the wild card in the race because how good he was in the Ellis Park Derby. And look, the favorites are the favorites, right? We think, although after the last race, we're not sure much of anything when the three favorites were nowhere. You would think that if you can get him on the ticket, that's where you can potentially make some money with Baeza and Gosker. That's what I was telling people. Use the 7, 8, 9.
And Baeza, and you heard Maggie and Dani discussing a little bit of a lack of focus, his immaturity. And you mentioned he is young in terms of comparison to some of the rest of his generation that have been competing at the highest level. That this is what separated him from being a really good horse to a horse that could maximize his potential. And there he is, almost going backward into the starting gate.
And that's the reason John Sheriff's brought him here a week early. That's not something he would normally do, but he wanted him because he knows he has this issue to be familiar with the surroundings. Well, he's familiar with the surroundings, just not familiar with a crowd like this. That's the difference.
John Sheriff's visited the Rocky Steps this week, hoping to celebrate a Pennsylvania Derby victory with Baeza. 6-5 as they continue to file in. We are expecting magnitude number 3 to set the tempo early on.
If he doesn't, something is seriously wrong because there's no other way they can go. They have to go. The question is, are there other horses fast enough to go with him and make his job much more difficult?
10-1 magnitude. Baeza, the favorite. Jessica Paquette with the call. 45th running of the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby.
And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. Good start for this field of 10 on the inside. So Sandy broke alertly, happily delusional, goal-oriented. He's up to join them. David of Athens, Gosger. They go by the finish line for the first time. David of Athens presses the issue with So Sandy to the outside. Goal-oriented. Altobelli skims the rail. Magnitude. Big Trust. They're in very tight. Gosger goes a little bit wide. Then it's Baeza, followed by Moplex, and happily delusional takes off the pace. So Sandy leads the way. His 3/4 of a length over David of Athens. Goal-oriented tracks in third. He's in the clear. Then it's a wall of horses chasing behind. Gosger right in between. Magnitude. Altobelli, he's in on the rail. Baeza's unhurried. Then to his outside, Moplex. And at the back, happily delusional. So Sandy goes through an opening quarter, 23 flat. They head down the backstretch. So Sandy continuing to press the issue. David of Athens, goal-oriented. He holds his spot in third. Then it's Magnitude to his outside. Gosger right in between horses. Big Trust. They continue on 46-3 with less than a half mile to go. And So Sandy has been resilient, but he has had plenty of company. Goal-oriented on the outside, ups the tempo. In between horses, David of Athens, he's persistent as well. On the outside, Gosger is beginning to move, and Baeza, he's gotten the cue. He's making up ground with every stride. Goal-oriented is taking the lead as they go around the far turn in the Pennsylvania Derby. Looming on the outside, Baeza, he's continuing to rally, and it's Goal-oriented who hits the top of the stretch with the lead. Goal-oriented, Baeza continuing to charge at his outside. So Sandy, he's not done, he's fighting on. Baeza up to confront Goal-oriented. Goal-oriented is fighting on gamely. Magnitude's on the scene late. It is Baeza who is kicking clear. There's a 16th left, and Baeza, Magnitude flying late, but Baeza gets his moment in the sun in the Pennsylvania Derby. Baeza over Magnitude, Goal-oriented, and a final time, 1:48 flat.
Too much class, too much talent, too much Baeza as the favorite delivers in the 45th running of the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby.
7-5 defeat in the end. And look, the workout was screaming to me that he was going to run the race of his life, and he did. You could see he was the winner. Yeah, coming around the far turn, when he started to move, this is on the background of 3/8 pole. We're going to pick it up here. You don't see him in the picture yet, but we could see him when we were watching the TV. And I whispered over to you. I said, Baeza's going to win the race. Here he comes. You could just see the powerful strides. And he's always had it. That's goal-oriented in front.
Who's going easy in front of him.
For sure. And he ran by him like he wasn't even there. He won easily. Now, I can't explain magnitude at all. We thought he'd be in front, and he comes closing for second. But, yeah, Baeza got the big win he deserved. And keep in mind, this is a son of the mare Puka, who is 4 for 17 in her life. Last win was on a turf at Suffolk Downs and is the dam of the Derby winner 2 years ago, the Belmont winner last year, and now the Pennsylvania Derby winner this year. How much is she worth? And her foals have won almost $7 million. She was purchased one time for $90,000. Last time she was bought, $2.9 million. She's worth more than that today.
That'll get it done. That will get it done. Following in his father's footsteps, Mackenzie. Back to the start, and yeah, we're looking at magnitude.
Yeah, where is
number
Magnitude?
3 being hustled out of the gate, and he just doesn't have the early foot out quick to the first turn.
That part was unexplainable to me. I can't imagine that's what Steve Asmussen wanted, and imagine that he was going to come closing. That's Kendrick Carmouche, so Standy, the one in front. All the speed horses in this race ended up backing up. It was all Baeza again. He's a little wide on the first turn, but he's always in the position that we thought he'd be in. Maybe a little further back. You can see him there, the pink saddle towel, the number 8 horse. And Magnitude, here comes Magnitude. Like, what?
Ran second from off.
It's like impossible. That's goal-oriented. You see the 6 there. But yeah, here comes Magnitude to 3. And I mean, he is running at the finish. And here's a horse who's only won on the front, so showed an entirely new dimension. But look, the best horse always was Baeza, and doesn't he make journalism and sovereignty look even better than they already look?
The big 3 are special at the upper echelon of this 3-year-old crop. Sovereignty, journalism, and that colt, the beautifully bred Baeza. Second lifetime win takes place in the Grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby, a first for trainer John Sheriffs, who campaigned the great mare Zenyatta, who won 19 of 20, her only loss in the final start of her career in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sheriffs now a Pennsylvania Derby winning trainer as Baeza. It was his time to shine. No sovereignty, no problem. Baeza, just too much horse in the PA Derby. Crowd still buzzing, still stirring, following that stellar performance by Baeza. CRK Stable, Grandview Equine winning owners, all smiles, winning rider Hector Barrios. You'll hear from trainer John Sheriffs in a moment. Both Barrios, Sheriffs making a real impression, Dick, their first stop here in Bensalem.
No question. John Sheriffs in his half-century training career has been at 26 different tracks. Hector Barrios has ridden at 17. Neither one of them had ever started a horse at Parkstown. Now both 1 for 1.
First stop here and the Pennsylvania Derby win together. Baeza, can't wait to see what he does the remainder of the year, or as an older horse, as he just continues to develop. We know the ability there, the maturation, all of that really starting to come together.
Yeah, my suspicion is he'll run in the Classic. I don't know why he wouldn't. John is stabled at Santa Anita. Why not? The Classic is going to be legendary on November 1st. Can't wait to see it. I asked John the other day, do you think there's a chance you can get him back as a 4-year-old? He hopes, but the bloodlines are suggesting they might not get him. He might be a stallion next year. Love to see him on the racetrack.
Trained by John Sheriff, standing by with Maggie in the winner's circle.
What an amazing broodmare Puka has been. But John, of course, you more concerned about your horse. I had to hunt him down to make sure he didn't follow Baeza back, but that had to be so gratifying.
Oh, absolutely, and gratifying is the exact right word to use, because he's been so close, and we felt he had so much talent, and he could win one of these. So I'm just so happy it was today in the Pennsylvania Derby. I watched the tape of all the Pennsylvania Derby winners over the last 20 years, and there've been some fabulous horses that have run in this race. So I'm really proud of Baeza today.
You should be. And talk a little bit about his trip. You know, I thought he settled so beautifully. And when Hector tipped him out, he was there every inch of the way.
Yeah, no, I thought so too. He broke okay. He was a little back, but Hector didn't let him relax. He kept him in it, right? He kept him connected with the field. Yeah. And then down the backside, he kind of inched up and got himself in a better position. And I was telling Hector, you know, in the paddock, I said, you know, this race track sort of rides like a turf course, right? You have to be loaded at the top of the lane, and then you have to be very patient and use it just at the right time.
And boy, did he deliver. Congratulations. I know how closely you work with all of your horses. And here's Hector now. Job well done, sir.
Master. Thank you so much. Appreciate it for the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
John, congratulations. And Laffit, you can't help but feel the happiness here in this winner's circle.
Maggie, he said it, how gratifying after he did all the homework as well, not just preparing his horse, but what it takes to win this particular race here at Parks Baeza, and for him to run that well in the Derby and that well in the Belmont and the GP, and finally getting a win at the highest level.
Yeah, super impressive, and we always knew he had that race in him, Laffit. Again, he'd just been against the heavyweights, and it was giving all that experience away to both of them who ran early as 2-year-olds. This is a really talented horse, and I really hope that John can get him back as a 4-year-old. I don't think we've seen anything yet. This horse may have as much talent as any horse racing in the country. He's just been playing catch-up all year long.
He's run very well on some of the biggest of stages, but you said you'll see the race of his life. They witnessed the race of his life. This crowd here at Parks in Baeza put on a show on this biggest day of thoroughbred racing. The signature race goes to Baeza at Parks, and we're not done yet. Sun setting on this picture-perfect Saturday in Bensalem. Pennsylvania Derby in the books, but not done yet. The Parks Sprint Stakes, the 47th race on the afternoon. Kidding. 15th race on the afternoon. Updated odds. Bugarino, who is currently 2-1. Paco Lopez seeking another win on the afternoon. Deep competitive race. Damon's Mound, former Saratoga Special winner, with Luis Saez at 5-1. And make sure, still have time, take advantage of this. New users to bet Parks can now get up to $1,000 back in casino bonuses within their first 24 hours by using code DERBY, or simply scan the QR code on the screen. To the Maniac with the greatest horse racing fans on the planet.
It is beautiful weather here today in Bensalem. We're with the greatest sports fans in all the land. All the land, they're here. They're out in droves here in the picnic grove. It smells great. The music's rocking. I'm here with Roosh. Roosh,
hey,
what's it like?
This is amazing.
You got your whole family here today?
Oh, I got all my family. Can't beat the weather. Parks did a great job hosting. Kid-friendly atmosphere. What else, man?
Well, what else could you ask for? Maybe an Eagles chant.
Oh,
how about an Eagles chant? Ready?
Do it.
Here we go, folks. Ready? E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Go Birds, Super Bowl champs!
Look at that. What happens tomorrow, by the way? You have 15 seconds.
Eagles, 1 p.m. Get ready.
What happens? Give me a prediction.
They've only won 18 of their last 19, including the Super Bowl. I think it's the Eagles.
You know where I'm
until
getting,
further notice.
You know where I'm getting at. A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I know. You need A.J.
A.J. Brown.
Two touchdowns and 100 yards.
Yeah, that'll work.
Is that good enough?
That'll work.
Yeah.
We'll see who's fastest in the Parks Sprint Stakes when we come back. Bird's eye view. Eagle eye view earlier today. That was the picnic area and this crowd here at Parks on their signature day of thoroughbred ace racing. Right on cue as we get ready for the Parks Sprint Stakes, and we check in with Maggie and Dani.
And Laffit, you know, when form is what it should be, Dani, as a fan, it is so gratifying, so rewarding, and that is what we're seeing with this 3-year-old division this year.
Yeah, I mean, it just really shows what standout sovereignty and journalism are for Baeza to run as well as he's been running, but not getting the win. And I just can't help as a fan just be so thrilled for John Sheriffs. He shipped in all week. He's been here closely watching his colt. And you could tell he was just so satisfied.
And obviously the public introduced to John Sheriffs 15 plus years ago when Zenyatta burst onto the scene. So cool to have him in the spotlight as well. And Baeza really running well. And you know, I don't want to say destroying this field because we saw some good performances, including Magnitude, who was second, but really putting some separation between him and the rest of this group.
Absolutely. Any shocks for you today?
No, other than the girls, the 3-year-old fillies, haven't really, continued their form. Good Cheer looked so good at the beginning of the year. She's dissipated. Same with Lacara. Now there's a new horse on the scene in Clicquot. So they haven't been as consistent as the boys.
Well, the boys have been awesome, and it was a very exciting PA Derby, that's for sure.
What a day we have had, Laffit, but we're not done yet.
15th and final, still coming up with horses in the paddock. Great job all afternoon. Maggie, Dani. Parks Sprint Stakes coming up. Looking at the current favorite, 2-1. Bucarino, Paco Lopez, big afternoon today at Parks. Riders up, post parade, and the nightcap. Parks Sprint Stakes coming up next as our coverage continues from Parks in Bensalem. Fast sprinters on track for the Park Sprint Stakes. We start with Full Mood Madness and Gerard Ortiz.
Actually beat Bucarino and Damon's Mount on the Alapacas run at Delaware Park, and Irad is riding. Look out.
Hold My Bourbon exits a grade 1 Forgo at Saratoga.
Yeah, nowhere in the Forgo. Has some big numbers. Isn't this horse supposed to be in Kentucky? Sure. Hold My Bourbon? What am I missing here?
24, Mamba, the veteran, 41st career start.
Yeah, and that name comes from the great Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School, right in the western suburbs, claimed by 10 straight Parks regulars, Marshall Graham and Clay Sanders.
One of his titles with the Lakers against the Sixers, moving right along. Maximus Meridius pictured.
Yes, this is Butch Reed, the trainer for Glenn Bennett and Chuck Zachney. This horse won more than $500,000. Early this year, we won the Gravesend and Toboggan up at Aqueduct. Michael Sanchez, the rider, has 200-plus wins. He's the man here at Parks.
Bump and run would be a big surprise.
Yeah, local connections. Tim Shaw and Sylvester Gonzalez go for a big one. Now, Tim has had some big wins in his career with a very small stable.
Number 7, Bernie's Mitz would be another who would shock.
Yeah, I love the breeding end of it sometimes. This dam was 0 for 21, and her foals have won 28 races.
Starting to scatter, Dick, here, and exiting the post parade. There is Bucarino here, who is the current favorite at 2-1.
And he's a photo from winning his last 4 dirt races. Paco leads the nation in wins. In fact, if he wins this, he'll be 4th on the day and 299th of the season.
Bucarino, then Damon's Mound with the back class is a 2-year-old, one of the most prestigious stakes races for freshmen at Saratoga, the Saratoga Special.
And you'll remember this after you thawed out. He won the 2023 Gallant Bob and the Muck and Meyer here for trainer Michelle Level. Now
it's all a blur.
Now it's Bill Meyer. Yeah, you were so cold, I wasn't sure I was ever going to get
you to come back. It's the last day of summer. It was like 40, man. I'm from California. What do you want from me?
I am aware of this fact.
The runners in this Parks Sprint Stakes, just handicapping this race. What did you find? What was the key?
I think there's a lot of heat. It's hard to get a real sense of how this race is going to be run, Laffit. And almost all the big scores I've ever made in this game were when I could see the race in my mind, and you could formulate a plan because you know who's going to be where, who's coming late, how the whole thing is going to shape up. This is a little harder. Look, Bucarino is going to be out there. You're looking at him right now. He is the 2-1 favorite. He's trained by Freddie Velasquez, who is a Parks Hall of Famer, has had a wonderful career, and this is one of the best horses he's ever had, and he's just kept him in great form for quite a long time as a 4-year-old. Really neat horse, Bucarino. We love him around here at Parks.
Paco Lopez won a couple of stakes races, a few stakes races, Saratoga. Future is now, and also happens to pilot the finest sprinter in the game, the pride of New Jersey, Bookham Dano. As we check in with Maggie and Dani.
You cannot be a fan of horse racing if you're not a fan of Bookham Dano, as he does lead the division of older sprinters, Dani. But Bucarino, he is their son, Bucaro, and he looks fabulous. Obviously, you're a little more familiar with him than I am, but the last time I saw him, he didn't look as good as he does today.
He's been training flawlessly. Freddie's been getting him ready. His last work was fast. I mean, he looks ready. He's been powerful, goes with the pony. I just think it's his race today.
I do too. He'll be very formidable in this spot. But number 1, Full Moon Madness, he defeated him the last time that they met each other, albeit back in June. He is coming off a bit of a layoff, but I thought Full Moon Madness he was one of those ones that kind of made it through the winter at Aqueduct, went to Warrior, and is getting better. I know the layoff is a bit concerning, but I think he looks phenomenal on the track today.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's had solid works. Parks is not an easy track to ship into.
Yeah.
I read we'll have to go from post 1, but you can win from post 1. But he's going to have a horse that really likes the track here, Maximus Meridius.
Oh, is very fast as well. I'll let you talk about him as he's third off the layoff.
He's been so much better since they gelded him. Really talented son of Maximus Mischief, who Butch Reed trained. He was always a good filling horse. Michael Sanchez seems to get the best out of this horse, and I think they're going to be up close today and kicking late home.
And he's a nice 5-1 on the board, the hometown horse. But looking at Bucarino here, Laffit, he's definitely the guy to beat.
2-1 with Paco. Just Paco, that first name only star treatment, especially on an afternoon like this where he's looking for a 4th win. Speaking of star riders, Rod Ortiz aboard Full Moon Madness, just the fact that he's riding back at Saratoga, closing weekend in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He fell shortly after the start. He was riding Mind Frame. Sierra Leone went right over the top of him. It was such a scary scene. He went to the hospital. He was complaining of rib pain and complaining of wrist pain. It didn't feel like at the time, you know, whether or not he was injured, but how long he could be sidelined, and everyone praying that it wasn't serious. And miraculously, Ortiz having escaped serious injury and right back in the saddle.
Look, the football players and the hockey players think they're the toughest athletes around. Forget it. These guys are the toughest athletes around. You know, your dad was a legend in this sport, and the ambulances follow the field. There's a reason, because jockeys are every race. There is danger, and that was a very scary incident. And you're just so thankful that Irad, he was back riding in a week.
Unreal.
That's how tough these guys are. And Irad, look, he's going to the Hall of Fame. It's just a question of when his eligibility is there. $363 million in purse earnings in his career, 4,200 wins, and he's not that old.
No.
He has a ton of big ones. Look, he hasn't won the Derby yet. There's a Derby with his name on it, and probably his brother Jose as well.
One of the best rides you will ever see in a Belmont Stakes, Rod Ortiz's ride on Creator. I believe back in 2016, winning by a nose with a closer. If he has to hesitate, check, lose momentum at any given point, he loses. One of the best you'll ever see in a Belmont Stakes. And here, Ortiz riding Full Moon Madness. As we check the odds, Bucarino still the 2-1 favorite. Final thoughts as they've reached the starting gate, Dick.
Yeah, I think the whole key to this thing is, can somebody get a clear lead? Is there a speed of the speed here? Because, again, there's 4 or 5 horses that all are horses that have a lot of ones in their past performances. Is there one that's faster than the other? Because if there isn't, and there's 3 or 4 of them battling it out, then we could get another upset like we've had in some of these other races where the best horses end up canceling themselves because of how fast they go early. That's the thing to look for, the race within the race. What's going to happen here in the first 200 yards? And often the very beginning of races, as we can relate to what happened to Barnes in the Gallant Bob, they have a huge effect on what happens at the end of the race.
Fast track, but a fair track.
Absolutely.
Look at magnitude from
coming
mid-pack,
from
finishing
nowhere.
second and closing in the Pennsylvania Derby. Jessica Paquette with the call post time for the Parks Sprint Stakes.
And now they're all in. Off and racing in the Parks Sprint. Good start for Damon's Mound. Bucarino broke alertly, and these two throw it down early. Damon's Mound, Bucarino, Maximus Meridius joining the party. Hold My Bourbon wants to say as well. That's Full Moon Madness. Followed to the outside, Caramel Chip to his inside in the orange Bernie's mitts. Then it's 24 Mamba, and at the back is Bump and Run. And the battle on the front end rages. Maximus Meridius puts his neck in front. Bucarino goes with him on the outside. Damon's Mound in the pink silks. The gray Hold My Bourbon. They zip through an opening quarter. 22 flat, head into the far turn. Maximus Meridius under pressure from Bucarino. Damon's Mound looms to the outside. They are beginning to inch away from the rest of the field. Then it's Hold My Bourbon. Caramel Chip, he's under a drive. Bernie's
Freeze mitts. Full Moon Madness is in on the rail. 24 Mamba still at the back. Bump and run and 3 across the track. It is a 3-horse battle. Maximus Meridius, Bucarino, Damon's Mound. The half 44 and 2. 3 hit the top of the stretch together. Trying to come up the rail. Hold My Bourbon. He's full of run on the outside. Full Moon Madness, Caramel Chip, Bucarino and Maximus Meridius. They are going on. It's Bucarino who has the lead, but the closers are coming. Damon's Mound, Full Moon Madness. Bucarino is game. There's the 16th left. Bucarino trying to hold them off, and Bucarino shows his class and shows his heart, and Bucarino wins the park sprint. Final time 1:15 and 2.
Fending off all challengers, Bucarino, and Paco says no. Takes down this Parks Sprint Stakes 4th win on this Pennsylvania Derby Saturday.
Bucarino has raced 7 times at his home track now, 6 wins and a third. And look, he was under heat the whole time. We talked about there were 4 across at one point, and it looked like, as Jessica called it, the closers were coming. Well, he was running away from the closers at the finish. Major credit to Freddie Velasquez. He has done a wonderful job with this horse. Like we said, Freddie's had a marvelous career. He's in the Parks Hall of Fame. And to have this horse later in his career is just an awesome thing. Love the Bucarino.
And it wasn't desperately holding
Not
on.
at all.
He was digging in. He was finding more, winning clear. A machine at Parks, as you mentioned, 6 of 7 here now. Home court advantage and taking full advantage. Alfredo Velasquez, Bucarino.
That's Dani Velasquez, Freddie's son,
so
who's also a trainer here at Parks. Very
Shocked
excited
us
for
in
his day.
the Grade 1 hopeful, I believe, at Saratoga a few years back with a 40-some-odd to 1 shot. Dani Velasquez, what'd you notice at the start?
Well, Bucarino he's the first one you see, right? And you love one in any sprint race. You love a horse to just pop, regardless of their style. That's telling you something. But here comes, all of a sudden, Maximus Meridius is the 5. He's coming up. The 3 is coming up. I mean, they're all there. There's 4 across the track, and he's in the middle of this. That's the worst possible place to be for Bucarino. But it doesn't matter for these horses that are tough, that just fire every time. Doesn't matter where they are, they just find a way. And Paco is riding. There's my man Paco. He's riding with such confidence right now. And there's Freddie with his back to you, and he just turned around. Everybody's known Freddie. He's been here forever. And to see him win a race like this on PA Derby Day, everybody at Parks will be celebrating.
The work he's done with Bucarino. You saw son Dani celebrating, and the pride of watching Bucarino do his thing. And Paco Lopez, 4th win in the afternoon. Bucarino unstoppable at Parks and wins this Parks Sprint Stakes. 15th and final as the sun sets on this Pennsylvania Derby Saturday in Bensalem. We'll be right back to wrap it all up. The Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby is brought to you by Parks Casino and Racing. This is how you win. And by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run. By the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. What a ride. And the Pennsylvania Breeders Association. Pennsylvania is the only place to breed and race. Bucarino loves the racing in Pennsylvania, loves the racing here at Parks. 6 for 7 as they present the hardware to the winning connections.
Yeah, Paco and Freddie celebrating in the winner's circle. This was a fast race. 108 and 3 to 3/4, 115 and 2 for 6.5. Fast track, but a fast horse and a fast race.
They were motoring.
Yes, they were.
Dani in the winner's circle.
Wow, here with Freddie Velasquez, they were erupting with cheers when your horse came in. That was a blistering race. You had really prepared him well. How exciting is this?
Very excited. The only disappointment I got, when I see him walking, he's bleeding to the foot. I'm happy because he win, but now I don't know how long he's going to be out.
Yeah, he grabbed his quarter there. Sorry about that, but what a heart of a champion. How much does it mean to meet at home with your family here?
Oh, forget about it. It's no comparison. It's no word to say it, you know. He's a tough horse. He run hard. He give it whatever he got.
Well, I know you're day in and day out in the barn, Freddie. You've done a fabulous job with them. Congratulations and enjoy your win.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
So a little bittersweet there, the victory, but concern. It doesn't sound like anything serious when you're talking about a horse grabbing a quarter. Normally it's an abrasion, it's a cut on a foot, and not to speculate, but obviously, yeah, he gets the win, but hoping that Bucarino isn't sidelined for an extended period of time.
Well, you know what? Just get him ready to come back and win this race again next year. And look, there's a lot of races in his future. He's only 4. I don't know that there's a stallion possibility. Probably not, although Bucaro has had some pretty good ones in recent years, including the horse that's the leading sprinter in the country this year. But yeah, it's just great, as Dani just said, to have the home team win one of these big stakes races. And Freddie's a very popular guy. He's been here, I don't know, as long as the racetrack. Not quite, but it seems that way.
And his son, Dani Velasquez, who we saw, Yo-Yo Candy, having won the Saratoga, the Sanford a few years back at 40 some odd to 1. Bucarino did not pay as much.
He did
680 in the end.
No, he was your favorite. 240 to 1, 680. Full Moon Madness, who just beat him at Delaware Park. We mentioned ran second. Maximus Meridius, a really good horse from Butch Reed. Glenn Bennett and Chuck Zachary ran a solid third. So these were Parks horses, ran 1-3 in this contest.
You ready to revisit a completely different brand of racing, my friend?
From 6.5 furlongs to 1.5 miles, are you saying?
We have the marathoners.
Yep.
We don't have all night to show you the entire race. So the stretch earlier today, Jessica Paquette with a call, the Greenwood Cup.
And all out, double your money. He's done all of the heavy lifting, but now he has to contend with No Bien Nimal. Looms to his outside. Double your money, not giving up, but No Bien Nimal puts his nose in front. They're well clear of Praetorian Guard. There's a 16th left. No Bien Nimal has put away a stubborn double your money. And No Bien Nimal, he's great in the Greenwood Cup. In second, double your money. Praetorian Guard third. Then back to Digital Ops.
No Bien Nimal. There's like nothing good, nothing bad. In this case, a lot more good for No Bien Nimal, the Brazilian in the Greenwood Cup.
Yeah, 2 for 2 now in North America, and look good doing it for Paulo Lobo. Joe Rosario won a couple of these stakes today, as you see him coming into the winner's circle here. And the horse that ran second, Double Your Money, again, a Parks been done trains, and this horse ran an incredible race because it looked like he had to just give it up at some point. He never really did. So no next this year to win by 100, but the Brazilian bred looked very good in winning the Greenwood Cup.
Joel Rosario called me lazy earlier today. He's like, you haven't worked since Saratoga? Like, yeah, must be nice as he's winning stakes races here at Parks. As we get ready to say goodbye, Dick, what big picture, real quick, what do we learn this afternoon?
I think we learned that Baeza is every bit as good as we thought he was. I don't know what we learned about the 3-year-old fillies. It just confuses the issue, but it tells you how good these top 3-year-old colts are. We've seen it all year long.
Another terrific day of thoroughbred racing, a terrific Pennsylvania Derby Saturday here at Parks. Always such a pleasure to come and visit on their signature day of thoroughbred racing. The fans turning up. You can feel the energy as they watch the stars of the sport do their thing. That exciting finish. Clico onward and upward. 4 straight victories. Takes down the grade $1 million cotillion. And the main event, Pennsylvania Derby, Baeza, second career win, just his second, takes place in the grade $1 million race. Have a great night, everyone.